Congratulations! You've survived the first half of 2020. That's definitely something to be grateful for. What else are you grateful for? Food? Shelter? Memes? With all that's happening right now, it can be difficult to continue to throttle an attitude of gratitude. I've certainly gone through some emotional waves myself throughout this year. I had my hopes set high at the beginning of the quarantine. I was doing my meditations, my rituals, and keeping up with my self-care. And then at some point, I just started to feel hopeless, as if all that growth that I made in the beginning was a rock wall climb, and I fell down back to where I started. And in this despair is where I found the stages of grief. I'd like to introduce you to the Kübler-Ross model. It outlines the 5 stages of grief that we all go through during and or after a traumatic experience. And this is the Kübler-Ross Grief Cycle. So I'm going to go through each stage of the grief cycle. If you resonate with any of them, I'd invite you to pause the video and take a pen and paper and write down what that looked like for you, how that felt for you in that time. So the Kübler-Ross grief cycle starts out with denial. So was there anything that you denied at the beginning of this year when everything started to take motion and we started to experience a lockdown, so to speak? Did you experience any anger? Was there anything that frustrated you? Was there rights that you felt like were taken away from you? Were people upsetting you? And then we have bargaining. So was there anybody that you were bargaining with? Maybe bargaining with yourself or bargaining with a higher power? And then we have depression. So did you feel sad at some point? Maybe hopeless like I was feeling? Or was there a feeling of we're not going to get through this? And then we have acceptance. And that's where things come full circle and we start to accept what's happening. Did that happen for you? How did that look? All of these at the bottom are things that can help throughout the cycle. So in the beginning we get the information and communicate about it. In the middle we get emotional support for what we're feeling, and then we get guidance and direction. So you may lie within all of it, the stages, you may lie within a few or even none, and that's totally okay. I don't claim to have it all figured out, but I feel like when we recognize and accept that we're all grieving to some extent, we can move forward together. It gives us a common ground. Here's my stages of grief. Take a moment to compare your stages to mine. In the denial stage, I felt like things will just go back to normal soon. I felt like I was the only one that thought this way. In the anger stage, I was upset with how everything was working out. I was blaming others for things, but not taking responsibility for my own actions. In the bargaining stage, I was weighing out my options. I was trying to deepen my connection to Source while I was trying to survive and thrive. In the depression stage, I felt hopeless. I felt like there was no light at the end of the tunnel. I felt lost. In the acceptance stage, I accepted the reality that I'm experiencing. I used that fear and grief as fuel instead of poison. I discerned what is true to me without letting fear control my decisions. See how similar they are? We're all connected on a quantum level. As we can see, the pain of one man grasping for breath was felt throughout the world. This compassion and empathy we felt for him and others allows us to shift the paradigm on a deeper level. Now, even if you don't believe me, will you grieve with me? If you like this video, I would be super grateful if you give it a thumbs up and you click the subscribe and notification button. Did you find this method helpful? I invite you to type your stages of grief in the comments section below and see how connected we really are.